Kia ora New Zealand, I'm Jay and we are Drive EV. We are going to take every single one of our electric cars around Great Lake Taupo. We're going to see how far we can go and how fast we can charge. We're going to see how they handle real life in Aotearoa. Welcome one and all to Jay's Round the Lake range test with the Skoda Enyaq IV60. We've got a 62 kilowatt hour battery, which gives us a 58 kilowatt hour usable capacity. Volkswagen hold on to 4 kilowatts for their own use. Car says we've got 345 kilometers of range and we're left with 80% on the hypercharger. We're going to be driving around the lake 163 kilometers and we're going to be using whatever keeps me comfortable. I'll have the climate control set to 19 degrees. That'll have some AC. I will be using cruise control. I will be using B mode around town and I'll be using roll mode out on the highway. Point to note, which I might forget to say later, this car does have hold mode as well. So you pull up to traffic lights, roundabout, whatever you need to stop at, come to a complete stop, you can take your feet off the pedals and the car won't go anywhere. So it's a big old car this, but it does seem to be pretty efficient. The ID4 that it's based off is also very efficient, so that's no great surprises there. We've got most of the climbing done. We've averaged 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, so in leaf speak, what's that, 5 kilometers per kilowatt hour? For that particular section, that's pretty efficient. So far looking very, very good, especially when you consider the size of this thing. It's a lot of vehicle. There's huge room in here for well, easy 4, cozy 5, massive boot, absolutely huge, loads of storage on it, big balloony wheels, massive tyres, super comfy. Skoda pride himself on being pretty clever. Here's a nifty little design with a snow and ice scraper with a built-in tyre tread depth gauge. There's two things I never thought would go together. So I've done just over an hour in the Enyaq, so I should have some driving impressions. And in fact I do. Obviously it's an SUV or possibly a really big station wagon. So you've got a good view of the road. You've got a good view of all the corners of the car, so it's easy to place it on the road as well. The seats are really comfortable, very supportive, hold you in the corners. Pretty nice to look at as well, not that you should be doing that whilst you're driving. The steering wheel, your contact points there. It's a decent thick rimmed one. It feels like leather, or convincing fake leather maybe. The small screen that tucks inside the steering wheel is excellent. It gives you the information that you need, speed and available range, and some other stuff that you might need whilst you're going about. This big screen here, I freaking love it. That's it. You should have big screens in cars for driver information that's not constantly immediately important. You should be able to access it very easily. The bigger the screen, the easier that is, and it's not in the way. It's below the line of the dashboard. How does it handle? Well, it's quite big and it's quite heavy. But it is very comfortable, so it makes up for that. It's a comfortable cruiser, something to be happy around town, and something I would really enjoy taking out on a road trip. Right, now hear me out. I think Skoda have made some really intelligent choices with the styling, interior and outside, and the driving manners of the Enyaq. Because it doesn't look like an electric car. Now we all know that it's based on the ID4, ID3 MEB platform. So if you know, you'll take one look at it and go, oh yeah, that's MEB, that's one of us. But if you don't know that, then you just look at it and it's a car. That's fine, that's all right, it's a nice looking thing. It's a car. Oh, it's electric. Oh. It's just a car. But you all know. Added bonus, no one's overtaken me yet. I've been doing the speed limit the whole way, which normally is a red rag to a bull here around here. And I'm wondering why everyone's sitting quietly and nicely behaved behind me, not bursting to break the limit. I reckon they don't know the difference between this and the cop cars. I reckon they're just sitting there looking at this, trying to work out if it's a police car or not. They can't see any extra aerials. They can see some camera equipment. They're just not sure enough to have a go. We'll find out when we get onto the straights. We'll test my theory. Theory stands. Everyone thinks this is a cop car. Only one person dared to overtake me, even in the overtaking lane. And they were so cautious. They must have been doing 102 to get past. Oh, that's hilarious. So, ultimate accessories for Skoda Enyaq's got to be extra aerials and a light bar. Right, so the car thinks we've done 160 Ks. We've done 17.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And we are showing 138 kilometers left in the battery. We got from 80 down to 27%. And now we're charging back up at... Supercharger says, hypercharger says 50 kilowatts. See if the battery warms up a little bit, takes a bit more. It's showing a half an hour charge time. We'll see. We'll come back to you on that one. Hi all. Enyaq's gone back to the groomers, so I've jumped in the Leaf just to finish off the stats. The Enyaq can charge up to 100 kilowatts DC, but 50 kilowatts on this battery pack, which is the 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. It is a 62 total capacity with 58 kilowatt hours usable. The really useful stuff is it can tow up to 1,000 kilograms, or it's rated to tow up to 1,000 kilograms on a braked trailer, 750 unbraked, and it can take 75 kilos on the roof if you so desire. Range from the EV database is 330 kilometers, which sounds about right, and that's at 176 watt hours per kilometer, which again marries up almost exactly with the stats that we're getting. So from our very scientific test of round the lake range duty, we reckon, yeah, the EV database is pretty bob on with 330 kilometers of real world highway range on a 58 kilowatt hour battery. And that's the story on the Skoda Enyaq. Impress your friends with all your Skoda knowledge. The company was founded in 1859. It is the 5th oldest car company still producing cars, and it was originally set up as an arms manufacturer. Later they made bicycles. After that they made some pretty cool cars like this. Later on they got bought out by Volkswagen, and now because of Volkswagen's push into electrics, they have produced this, the Skoda Enyaq, and this right here is the concept. As you can see, it looks exactly nothing like the current available car.